Dominica to voice concerns at the International Conference of Small Island Developing States. Government sees citizenship by investment as a means of boosting investment and over $4 million road project for the Castle Bruce constituency for improved safety. Thank you for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Kimani. Stay with us for details of the headline stories and others after this.
A lot of bathtubs are blamed for bruises. Some staircases are accused of being responsible for broken bones. Doors are occasionally viewed suspiciously as causing lesions. A high percentage of tables are accused of producing bleeding or trauma. Violence against women is a crime, and it's everyone's responsibility. It's inexcusable. If you're a victim or witness of physical or psychological violence or abuse, seek help and denounce the perpetrator.
Thank you for staying with us. Small Island Developing States, or SIDS, across the globe will have the opportunity to bring their concerns and challenges to the international table. The third International United Nations Conference on Small Island Developing States commenced today, September 1st, in Apia, Samoa, and will continue until September 4th. Head of the Dominican delegation, Honorable Minister for the Environment, Dr. Kenneth Daru, listed several matters which will be up for discussion at the conference.
The whole idea of economic and sustainable development for these islands, the issues of climate change. Because as I've said before, while climate change affects everybody, we, the small island developing states, are particularly vulnerable or susceptible to the ravages of climate change for a number of reasons. Of course, we being small islands, fragile economies, not being able to mitigate and adapt towards combating climate change, and our budgetary allocations a lot of times have to be rediverted towards cleanup after these natural disasters, and of course we know that they've been becoming more erratic and more intense over the years. The whole issues of ocean governance and biodiversity, water governance, the issue of the issues facing young and indigenous people. And of course in Dominica we have the Carib or Kalinago people. Of course they have their special challenges.
The Honorable Minister says he is pleased with Dominica's progress in addressing these challenges.
I'm very proud to be leading the Dominican delegation because I think by now the regional and international community has recognized Dominica's initiative and Dominica's efforts towards becoming 100% energy self-sufficient as it pertains to energy. And I'm talking about our whole geothermal initiative where millions of dollars have already been invested in the exploitation or exploration and exploitation, of course, of this natural resource. I am also particularly pleased to announce that our low-carbon climate resilient development strategy has already been tabled at the United Nations. So I consider this of course would be a document that was produced under our strategic project for climate resilience that is just concluded or just started rather, World Bank Climate Investment Fund project. And out of this project, of course, we had this facility which we consider really a blueprint towards sustainable development. This has already been tabled at the United Nations in another branch of the United Nations, at the United Nations Framework on Climate Change.
The third International SIDS Conference is taking place under the theme, The Sustainable Development of Small Island Developing States through Genuine and Durable Partnerships. The head of the Dominican delegation hopes that this will give the more developed international community a chance to play their part.
They've been listening or hearing over the years, and we're hoping that this time they can begin to listen and to meet up and to honor some of these commitments that they've made to us over the years. I mean, We hear about the Green Fund, the Adaptation Fund. Okay, all of these are still virtual funds. Because those of us who understand the issues that small island developing states face, especially in the areas of climate change, would understand that we had very little to do with what is happening now, with the climatic changes that are happening now. We had very little to do with it. Our greenhouse gas emission is practically zero, and the industrialized nations, of course, would have made commitments to us decades ago that they are yet to really live up to. So
the Dominican delegation also comprises Dominica's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Vince Henderson, and a number of experts who the minister is confident will add value to the country's debate. The group left for a pier on Friday.
Parliamentary representative for the Castle Bruce Constituency, Honorable Johnson Drago, says the Petit Soufriere and Saint-Sauveur communities are leading the way in disaster mitigation on island. At the 15th inaugural meeting of the Petit Soufriere Saint-Sauveur Village Council, Honorable Drago said he must commend the people of those two communities for consistently doing their part in the name of safety.
We had to build a massive retaining wall in Saint-Sauveur that cost well over $250,000 because we had a heavy rain and rain took half of the road. We had to, in Brong, replace 6 of the culverts because they were damaged by heavy rain as well, and replace the surface of the road, costing $170,000. By McPherson, in the intersection of the road heading to McPherson, we have a double culvert there. It was compromised again by heavy rain in 2012-13, and we had to replace about 8 culverts in that area and realign the road. That cost over $200,000. Saint-Sauveur Bridge stabilization. We were on the risk of losing Saint-Sauveur Bridge. We had heavy rain and the bridge undermined 15 feet deep.
Honorable Drago noted that when he became parliamentary representative, disaster mitigation became his top priority. The Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit commended the parliamentary representative for his efforts in the constituency.
He spoke about the fact that his tenure as Member of Parliament, during his tenure he had to spend enormous amounts of resources and energy and time responding to natural disasters. Over $4 million have been spent in this part of the country responding to disasters. Monies which could have been spent on building new roads, building more homes, had to go into responding to natural disasters. Because the fact remains, we could not have left this unattended because of the added danger which it would place at the feet of our residents.
At the 15th inaugural meeting, government signed a contract for an over $4 million project for the Lively Road, centered around disaster mitigation.
In other news, the Citizenship by Investment Program, or CBI, which was designed to boost foreign direct investment, is being regarded as a viable option for the economic expansion of this island. The program seeks to increase foreign direct investments and mobilize investments for development projects, particularly investments in tourism infrastructure. The nation's Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, who is also Minister for Foreign Affairs and Finance, told the House of Parliament that the CBI program is attracting the attention of virtually all governments in the region. Further, he said a unit has been established within his finance ministry to deal exclusively with all aspects of CBI, including the review of applications, initiating the due diligence on applicants, preparing promotional material, and responding to queries on the program. The foreign direct investments will be targeted at new projects which are certain will be assets to Dominica. The Labour Party government has produced a list of projects which it will make available to interested investors should they wish to pursue these investments. Under the program, government has been receiving expressions of interest to finance activities in mining, ongoing hotel projects, and the creation of executive office space. The CBI program is also geared at attracting financing for public sector projects. According to Honorable Scarrett, Dominica has entered into an arrangement with British-based firm CS Global to undertake the marketing of the program. The nation's leader assured that while seeking greater exposure for the program, its integrity and quality will be preserved. Prime Minister Scarrett told Parliament that, quote, these interventions are expected to be converted to jobs in the country, end of quote.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health is reporting that it is on stream with the government's continued plans to reduce the infant mortality rate in Dominica. Health Minister Honorable Julius Timothy announced that the ministry will seek to improve Dominica's birth database as just one of the measures to reduce the infant mortality rate.
The Ministry of Health is working to improve the quality of its birth database. This will provide improved monitoring of the coverage and outcomes of primary health care interventions.
The ministry is currently taking steps towards reducing neonatal infant mortality through a program funded by the European Union, the Dominica Reduction in Infant Mortality Project.
This includes procurement of much-needed equipment such as neonatal ventilators and incubators, physical enhancement of the maternal and neonatal units, training of staff, and implementation of controlled training programs and measures. Total expenditure for this program for 2013-2014 was $780,000.
Dominica also partners with the National Children's Hospital in St. Vincent and the United States, where they provide specialized pediatric services. The government of Dominica also provides subsidies for children referred under the program.
On Monday, Dominica welcomed a new ambassador from the Republic of Poland. Ambassador Piotr Kasuba presented his credentials to President of Dominica, His Excellency Charles Savre. The Polish ambassador, who will not be resident in Dominica, expressed in his remarks his country's desire to cooperate in matters of economy.
The occasion of the presentation of my credentials provides an opportunity to reflect on our economical, commercial, bilateral relations. Poland, a country which in the last few years has registered a dynamic growth, has yet very much to offer from its agriculture, machinery, mining industry. We have a big and growing market with a large middle class, abundant raw materials, highly trained and skilled manpower. More specifically, Poland is the first world producer of apples, which due to the surplus we are currently looking for new markets. Also, we can offer our agricultural products. We are aware that Dominica took important and innovative steps towards the implementation of geothermal energy. And we are ready to help you with this fascinating endeavor.
President of Dominica, His Excellency Charles Savre, shared similar sentiments centering around viable areas for partnership.
Since our two countries established formal diplomatic relations in 2009, these relations have been cordial. We are aware of the objectives of Polish Foreign Assistance Program in the areas of reducing poverty and fulfillment of the other Millennium Development Goals, as well as ensuring democracy, the rule of law, civil society development, and respect for human rights. Your Excellency, it is my expectation that during your tenure, it may be possible for our two countries to engage in exploring avenues in which Dominica may benefit from these programs, which would include scholarships at Polish public universities, possibly under a bilateral international agreement, the provision for technical assistance in transformational agricultural projects, capacity building and training, and generic drug procurement. Investment and other forms of development assistance may also be considered as areas for potential cooperation.
The Commonwealth of Dominica and the Republic of Poland established diplomatic ties in 2009.
Last Friday, 29th August, the communities of Clifton, Capuchin, and Cocoye welcomed a new village council. 5 women and 3 men were sworn in to serve the community for the next 3 years. Outgoing Chairman Ralton Carrett thanked the community and those who served with him for the past 3 years. He did not neglect to mention some of the achievements of the past council.
Construction of the mountain feeder road, of which is, I think, one of the best in the country at this point in time. And the facilitation of payments made available by government of Dominica for the construction of drainage work and sidewalk in Portsmouth. That's from Portsmouth to Lagon. We were the ones responsible for the finance to do that work. So a lot of development have happened over the years. Not forgetting Capuchin and Cocoye water supply, and the resurfacing of Yard and Clifton Front Road. During my term of office, the council also requested the sale of petrochemical gas in this community.
Carrett has served the community for 15 years and served as chairman of the council for 2 terms. Incoming chairman Augustine Auguste has a vision for the transformation of the community into one of the best on the island. He said government has demonstrated its commitment to the community through a series of projects completed over the past few months. Auguste added that fundraising is critical to any council. He called on members of the community to play their part. Other members of the council are Josiah Lamoth, Helen Sabin, Petra Cabon, Mary Simon, and Gillis Cabon John Baptist. The Clifton Capuchin Cocoye Village Council was established in 1972.
In related news, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit presented a check of $150,000 to the Clifton Capuchin Cocoye Village Council. Just minutes earlier, incoming chairman of the council, Augustine Auguste, made a plea for assistance to complete the Clifton to Capuchin Road.
The Clifton Village Road needs indeed repair. The chairman, the outgoing chairman just said that the Clifton Village Road is indeed in a dilapidated condition. It is a concern, and I sometimes get jealous as a person when I see things happening in other areas and I ask what is happening to us. I am hoping that the Pal Rep will give us some good news this afternoon before we leave concerning the Clifton Village Road.
Prime Minister Skerrit was already prepared to meet that request.
I want to hand over a check to the chairman so that you can hit the road running as early as Monday morning to commence the construction of the Clifton Village Road. I have been told that the costly project is about $150,000, and you have a check here of $150,000 to be paid into order of the Clifton Capuchin Cocoye Village Council. So when you speak as a community, we do listen. And where we can respond in a practical and tangible way with the resources that we have, we do respond.
The chairman expressed gratitude for the funds and made a commitment to use it diligently for the road project. The funds came at an opportune time since the community of Clifton has been earmarked to host Heritage Day 2014.
The Honorable Parliamentary Representative for the Roseau South constituency, Ambrose George, is convinced that under his stewardship, the second largest constituency in Dominica, Roseau South, has seen significant development. In his Parliament budget statement last month, Honorable George indicated that while there is still more to be done, a lot has been accomplished from the contributions of the DLP administration. The Constituency Empowerment Minister considered the provision of potable water to the Eggleston and Girardin residents his greatest achievement in the Roseau South constituency.
If I had not achieved anything else and achieved that, Madam Speaker, I would have felt satisfied. Because I grew up in the area. Eggleston was a popular place for me when I had school holidays. And I was familiar with going to the Luce, going to carry water from Newtown onto donkey and trucks and whatever you could get, especially during the Carrum season. And I know the relief that that water system has brought to the people of Eglinton and Girodale and Shaflow.
This water facility also serves the Upper Kingshill community called Pierce. Honorable George expressed his devotion to provide a more efficient water supply for the entire Kingshill community. Among other developments, the MP highlighted the establishment of the multi-purpose Lubia Resource Center, the construction of a motorable road from 9 Houses Kingshill to the Newtown area, and the Lubia sidewalk.
Very important institution. That's what it is now in Lubia, Madam Speaker. It serves the council, the post office, there's a preschool, there's a church even having their services there weekly. And that's where the people congregate. They have the meetings. I have my meetings there also. And the people, you know, they have dances, just you name it, and it takes place at the Lubia Resource Center. Very, very important institution for the people of Lubia and the wider Lubia area. This is an area, there are about 40 or so families in that area. And for years, they have been using an area across the ravine there. Well, whenever it rains, they can never pass. And there's a track taking them to the residence. And recently, we undertook a project there to build a footbridge, we call it, because it's not motorable, and a series of steps and landings from the bridge onto the residential homes. And that has made life very, very pretty for the residents in that area.
The Roseau South MP also listed the Silver Lake apartment building, community sanitation projects, and the Girodale Back Road. He looks forward to the successful completion of ongoing projects such as the construction of the Newtown Primary School, the Youth Center in Kingshill, and the playing fields throughout the constituency, among others.
And before we end today's newscast, here are a few announcements. The Forestry, Wildlife and National Parks Division would like to advise the general public that the Emerald Pool is now open. The division wishes to sincerely apologize for any inconvenience caused during the temporary closure over the weekend. And the general public is notified that Phase 1 of the Roseau River Promenade project commenced today, September 1st, and will continue for 3 months. The ministry advises all stakeholders to take precautionary steps and apologizes for any inconvenience caused. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, travail qui prend place à ce chemin à Montjean. Parole celle-là sortie du Parlement, Honorable Ivor Stevenson.
Ça, c'est un morceau de chemin, personne n'a jamais fait. Et puis, moi, je dis, en chemin Montjean, c'est chemin gouvernement, moins. Ça, c'est chemin à la Labour Party, qui a arrangé tout chemin Montjean. Ça, c'est chemin qui était là longtemps, et puis ça, c'est dans un qualité manière qui est bien arrangé. Chemin mauvais, moun passe partir ça trafiquer à la chemin coin télé. Et puis nous avons continué de travailler là, hors lagon, Montjean, et puis nous avons monté jusqu'en plein fil là. Moi, ce chemin j'ai fait déjà bien belle, et puis moun a commencé à planter fleurs pour élever et voir. Mon content, chemin ça allait bien bon, et puis moi les compléments à monsieur Philippe Langford qui est contracteur passe. Il a employé mon jeune et puis mon cas dit travail là est bien bon et puis mon jeune comme ça actuellement mon qui ça trafiquer en Chine primaire et pas qu'il y ait pièce problème pour monter chimie ça là.
En autre nouvelle, Dominique a bien représenté un gros meeting SIDS qui a pris place en Apia Samoa, le premier pour le 4 septembre l'année 2014. Ministre environ Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow, ensemble et puis ambassadeur Nations Unies, His Excellency Dr. Vince Henderson, c'est délégation Dominique. Ça fait qu'à concerner vulnérable Dominique et puis d'autres pays, qu'à concerner changement climatique, qu'à discuter en meeting 4 juillet. Quand même, ministre Darrow fait parole qui gouvernement Dominique, qu'a fait plusieurs bagailles pour adresser vulnérable à pays là, mais c'est pays qui promettent assister, ils ont mérité venir devant et puis faire ce qui est nécessaire à adresser et puis faire mitigation. Yon meeting pour préparer voilà pour place où là yon agenda discuté. Ministre Daru ni espoir ki Dominique tape envoie en meeting cela et puis tape succès. À la nouvelle, gouvernement Dominique a fait un report qui plie qui 300 Dominicains au Kai Yosakouye Sayo. Parole cela sur le ministre Kai, Honorable Reginald Ostring. Si l'Honorable Ostring, tout ça est possible, grand merci gouvernement Labour Party, en bas Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt. Ministre Ostring aussi fait parole qui gouvernement pas en bâti Kai ba moun, yo aussi fait available pour puis ba moun sa afford. Plaisir de yo, pateke sa bâti maison yo même. Yon l'autre aspect, révolution Kai, c'est salle de bain et puis toilette qui gouvernement Dominique a bâti par moun tout pays là. Finalement, ODM, ça c'est l'office qui a responsabilité pour affaires GIS Dominica, c'est poser disséminer information pour moun ordinaire au point. Parole ça là, sur le permanent secrétaire, ministre sécurité nationale, Gerard Jean-Jacques, pendant un workshop des GIS qui était en place à Dominique semaine passée. Quand même officier programme l'office là, M. Steve Joseph, quand on s'y pour parole permanent secrétaire Jean-Jacques.
Chaque fois nous parler bien technical. Le chaque fois on a tant de questions à radio, à télé, mais moun pas comprendre ça moun l'a dit. Quand ça pièce là qu'a dit, c'est nous dit pour mettre matériel en langage qui nom là c'est similaire là, nom là qui passe à même lit avec écrit, nom là qui parle créole quand nous fait à présent. Qui comprendre ça est pour faire. Comme ça il s'apprend action pour mitiguer famille avec communauté avec quoi même affecté des désastres. Comme ça mon question en bonne parole mon cas essayer que tout le monde communauté un pays là qui peut ça sérieux avec yo qui fait pas yo pour faire certain que la communauté et la famille plus secure, plus meilleure pour ensure que la famille pas affectée des désastres.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Moi, c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, how to include fruits in your diet.
DOWASCO recognizes that clean water is vital to healthy living. Therefore, it spares no effort in providing a clean, safe, and reliable system. Help keep our rivers safe and clean. Do not cut trees along the river banks and do not pollute with garbage, human or animal feces, and chemicals. Think water, think life.
There's no doubt that eating fruit is important to our overall health and well-being. Fruit is healthy for you, we all know that, but it's good to know that eating it should follow some general guidelines to fully benefit our health. First, eat fruit alone or on an empty stomach.
This is because when fruits are eaten alone, your stomach can more easily process all of the nutrients, fiber, and the simple sugars contained in the fruit. This is the optimal or proper way to benefit from the fruit you eat. If you eat fruit close to a meal, especially right after a larger meal, and combined with other foods, it's held in the stomach too long, along with other foods, and will rot and ferment in the gut. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Like us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Kimani. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.